Hi, I'm Crescent, and welcome to my kitchen table. Today we are going to be planting seeds. So why start seeds indoors? Well, first of all, it's cost effective. Starting your seeds indoors also allows you to try different varieties that you wouldn't normally eat because they're not available in a grocery store. And a lot of times, the big box stores or even your local nurseries won't have different varieties that you want to choose or try. It's a good way to get your kids or even maybe your husbands to try something different than the same old Roma tomato. Everybody makes mistakes. Every single YouTube video I've ever watched about starting seeds says, avoid these common mistakes. Well, let me tell you, life is all about making mistakes. If you don't make mistakes, you're never going to succeed. So don't beat yourself up if you go through all this and something happens, whether it's your seeds don't grow at all or something happens to your seedlings after they do start growing, or maybe you forget to water them. Don't beat yourself up. It's all a learning experience. It's fun. Albert Einstein said, "Don't be afraid to try anything new. Mistakes lead to wisdom. Wisdom leads to success." We have been brainwashed by our society into thinking that mistakes should be avoided in favor of getting the right answer. End quote. So if you make a mistake, just learn from it and move on. First of all, you're going to need something to grow the seedlings in. I am a little embarrassed to say how many growing containers I have. I'll take you outside really quick and I'll show you. But don't tell my husband because I hide him under the porch so he doesn't know how much I'm hoarding. Let's go check it out. So we're outside. Now, no judging, please, okay? I have been collecting these over, I don't know, a couple years or so. I have been known to dumpster dive. If I see my neighbors have put out something like this, I will go and get it out of their garbage can. And I've also been known to go at the end of the season to one of our local nurseries, and they have a bunch of them out. And I'll dig through them and find things that I like. And I hide this under my porch because, with a tarp, because my husband is like, "You don't need all those." And I'm like, "Yes, I do." Let's go back inside. You're gonna need a growing medium. Now, I found a good mix that works for me. I use a brick, and it's just a compacted seed starting mix brick, and I'm gonna dissolve it here and show you how it works. And I mix it with this Jiffy organic seed starting mix, and then I'll add a little bit of extra perlite to the mix. The reason why I add the perlite is it makes it so it drains well. Your seedlings do not want to be sitting in water. They want to grow strong, and that's why you're going to use this medium. You're not going to go out and get dirt from your garden. That dirt or soil, whatever you want to call it, is too compact. Your seedlings are not going to grow. They need light, fluffy, airy mix to grow. Okay, this thing is probably like $3. It's nice. You're gonna need 4.5 cups of water, and I have that right here. And I'm just gonna simply put the brick in here. And we're just gonna let it kind of sit there for about 2 minutes, and then we're going to break it out. So now we're going to add some of the organic Jiffy mix to it. I just want you guys to see how light and fluffy and airy this is. The roots are just gonna grow in abundance. We're just gonna add to this. This is supposedly a sterile mix, so I don't really want to put my dirty hands from the coconut choir in there. So I'm just gonna measure some out. And then now, just get a towel. This is messy. Add some perlite. And you don't need very much. And then now we're just gonna mix it all together. Just about have this mixed up and ready to go. It is a little damp and you want it to be damp. So I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna give it a little test here with my hand and show you what I mean. Have it to be able to squeeze it and feel a little bit of water, but you don't want water like dripping down your hands, okay? I'm gonna say that this is probably just about right. So, you see how that just, look at that. Isn't that nice? And then just crumbles. This is like brownie mix, kind of, you know, like, or chocolate cake. So good. I would say that our mess and our growing medium is done. Now you're gonna wanna fill up your containers. So you wanna kind of push it down lightly so there's not like air pockets in it, but you don't wanna compact it like a brick, okay? You're just kind of lightly pressing it down. And this is messy. You can do it outside. I just decided to do it at my kitchen table. It's easier for me to be in the house so I can see what everybody's doing, making sure everybody's productive, including myself. So you're just gonna fill them up. Now that we have our growing medium ready in our containers, we can start planting. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about containers. You don't have to have a setup like this. You can use cottage cheese containers that you have laying around, yogurt containers. I buy rotisserie chickens from Costco all the time. You could actually use that dome and the bottom part, you could use that to grow seeds, and that could act as like a greenhouse effect when you're trying to get your seeds to pop. And there's so many options. You could use a red Solo cup. Now that we're gonna start our seeds, let's just talk really quick about where to buy seeds. You want to buy your seeds from a reputable place, somebody who's been selling seeds for a long time. There are a lot of scams going on right now, a lot of weird seeds from different countries. So just be careful when you're buying seeds. You don't want to get something that's invasive, that you weren't really planning on planting. So again, just make sure that you choose wisely where you get your seeds. I'm going to show you how I start seeds. Today we are going to be planting acorn squash, cantaloupe, yellow zucchini, some cucamelons. They are so cute. They look like little watermelons, but they're a cucumber and they taste just like a cucumber. They're just really cute and fun to watch grow. Little kids love this. To get them to eat a cucumber if they don't like cucumbers, because it looks like a little tiny watermelon. And we're gonna grow some market more cucumbers. We're gonna do some okra, and we're going to do some butternut squash. So let's get started. You don't need to, like bury them all the way down. You're just gonna make just a little tiny, just a little bit, and then just place your seed in there. I'm gonna put 2 of these seeds and just lightly bury it per container here, because I'm going to have a backup in case one of them doesn't grow. I'll just pick the strongest seedling and I'll pluck the other one out. I love acorn squash. It is one of my favorite things in the fall. And the crazy thing is that I grew squash last year, quite a few varieties. And we just finished eating like our last spaghetti squash about a month ago. And it was super good. I think I still have one butternut squash left. But if you store them correctly, they will last a long time. So I'm just gonna go ahead and mark this right here. I just have it labeled so then I know what I am growing here. Okay, we're done with the acorn squash. You want to store your seeds in a cool, dry place. They are stamped for, the season of when they're supposed to be used, but you can use them the next year. So now we're going to plant some cantaloupe. So I'm just going to put my little marker in here because I have chemotherapy brain and I'm going to forget what I plant. But that's okay because once the seedlings come up and they get leaves, you can kind of figure out what it is that you're growing relatively easy. Now that you've planted your seedlings, they're going to need a few things. They're going to need first to be watered. So I like to bottom water. So I put a tray with no holes underneath my containers. That's the way I choose to do it. You can water on top if you want. I find that watering on the bottom is better. They're also going to need sunlight. 8 to 10 hours of good sunlight a day. I have a great sliding glass door. Actually, I have 2 sliding glass doors. So I use one just to put my seeds in front of, which the sun shines all day long. I do have a grow light that I use on cloudy days. And it's just, you can use just your own light fixture. And I just use this nice bulb grow light from GE. I find that it works wonderful. There are other grow light options, but for me, this works. So your seedlings are going to need to stay warm. It's going to need to be 60 to 70 degrees where you're trying to grow them. If you aren't able to control that temperature very well, you can use a grow mat. You don't have to have a grow mat. For some seeds, I find that it's beneficial to start. Another thing you can use is a lid for your seeds. This acts as a greenhouse and will keep the moisture in. This one is a humidity control. I can turn the little knobs here and control humidity that way if I choose to. There's 2 on the sides as well. You don't have to have one of these. In fact, I would take it off as soon as your seeds sprout. They no longer need that, honestly. As long as you have a warm place for them with lots of light and water, they're going to grow. Again, you're going to make mistakes. It happens. I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. One mistake that I often reflect upon and has really helped shape me into who I am now as a mother is a time years ago when my oldest Amber was in her teenage years and my youngest daughter Jory was about 4, maybe 5. It was morning. We were trying to get out the door to get the older kids to school. And I was irritated. I didn't feel good. Amber was driving me crazy. She was being obstinate. We were late. It was snowing. And as we're going out to the car, Amber said something smart aleckly to me. And I threw my keys down at her. Not at her, like not at her body trying to hurt her. I was just mad and I chucked the keys down towards her. Well, right when I did that, Jory came from behind the car and those keys hit her right here in the head. And I started crying. I felt terrible. I thought, what on earth did I just do? Why did I let that happen? I don't hit my kids. I don't beat my kids. I don't even spank my kids. To cause bodily harm to my youngest daughter was really hard. We've since talked about that several times. It's always, do you remember when Mom hit you in the head with the keys? And she's laughing right now. The one that got hit in the head with the keys is holding the camera. So yeah, I remember that. And that was not my Mom of the Year moment. But I've learned from that mistake. I've learned that I won't put myself in that kind of position to be so frustrated. I'm grateful that both of my daughters have forgiven me. And right, Jory?
Yep.
Okay. and that I'm able to learn from my mistakes and to grow and to continue being a better mom. You guys, it was so fun today. I hope that you were able to learn something and that you're not going to be afraid to start seeds. Remember, you're going to make mistakes. That's part of life. That's part of learning. Einstein also said, strive to make small mistakes quickly so that you can compound your learning on your way to achieving your goals. Until next time, my friends, get your hands dirty, plant love, grow hope, and harvest peace.